Okay. I guess it's time to start the show. Yep. New music. Hey, everybody. It's going to start in a second. I should probably turn that down. Or did I ever turn it up? I didn't. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Tuesday. Usually Twitter Tuesday, but there's no more Twitter. This is app formerly known as Twitter. But the question I have today, and I wanted to say, what the F are we doing? But what are we doing? What are we doing? What is the administration's plan? And how is it that we can, look, right now we got the war drums beating because a drone from, obviously sponsored by Iran, if not directly from Iran, has gone into one of our bases and killed some people. And we mourn for these people right here. These three, all three, it's interesting because all three are from Georgia. So it must have been a Georgia unit in the place. But not necessarily hearing a lot about those people, but the war drums are beating. And I just don't know what the plan is. I don't know what, I don't know, you know, we've been protecting everyone over there, you know, protecting shipping lanes and whatnot, which I'm sure is, you know, important. But why is this ragtag? Well, not even ragtag, because they obviously have, the Houthis obviously have some technology. Why are they still on the face of the earth? But it's also, is this something that we need to go to war over or not? I mean, it seemed to be an act of war, right? It's just strange. The plan is to get into, hello, not a horizon. The plan is to get into a global conflict to provide cover for the collapse of the dollar. Well, that is one answer, I'll tell you that. And welcome to the show. That's a new name I haven't seen here yet. So we're going to figure it out. Well, we're not going to figure it out. I'm just going to tell you what's happening in the news like I do every day. But that is a question absolutely weighing on my mind. So that's why I named the show that way. So let's get into the show. John, turn that music off. Thank you. And play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
There we go. Haven't got someone new in the chat. And I go boomer on you. But as you know, I am the last boomer. I might even trademark that. I'm the last boomer. I'm the last boomer. Because the year I was born, I guess. Because, you know, it's everyone, you know, flips and rounds and flops on what an actual boomer is. But, you know, being the last boomer, I'm Gen X at heart, because I'm in that, you know, don't F with me. I'll smack in the mouth. But anyway, like I said, the question today is, what are we doing? I got so frustrated when I was pulling up articles this morning and, you know, from my aggregator, from X, all that shit. And it's just uncanny how the man who's, you know, sitting in that office right now, sponge braid shit pants, when he was running against the guy with the funny hair, he made all these predictions of what would happen in the world, right? He made predictions. And but the prediction he made are absolutely happening on his watch, because he's just, look, if you don't think the world, and especially in the world in the Middle East, where perceived strength means a lot, okay? They don't give a shit about if you can be diplomatic. The respect comes from strength. And if you think anyone in that part of the world has respect for Joe Biden, I got some swampland for you in Nevada. Okay? I'm going to sell you some swampland in Nevada if you think that's the case. And all this action that's just popping off everywhere. Is it just indicative? Look, the guy with the funny hair, who I call a jackass all the time, but I think as far as his ability to run, show strength in our country, is certainly unmatched by this dickhead in the office. Probably one of the reasons things weren't popping off all the time under the guy with the funny hair is because people were fucking afraid of him. They didn't know what he was going to do. They know that you cross him. His allies that that are his friends, if they even say something against him, he's calling them, stupid names, right? Look, we're not going to lead the world by exporting pronoun and gender theory, because that's not what they respect. You think after the guy with the funny hair shot missiles into Syria and killed 200 Russian, what are the Wagner Group guys? I don't even know what the hell to call them, mercenaries. And Russia didn't do shit after that? Why? Well, first of all, they claim they weren't there, which is hilarious. And so the, central command or whatever confirmed that they weren't there anymore. But you would think that, he's so soft on Russia. Really? Yeah. Well, he didn't lift. There were still sanctions on Russia. Did he give Putin everything he wanted? Putin's puppet my ass. So obviously this rant has nothing. Well, it has to do what I'm going to do in the show today, but it really just, I'm telling you, I'm disgusted right now. And I don't even know how to look at it. Is this the puppeteers? Are they just trying to blow up the world so they can have a crisis for, that they can solve? Because they love them themselves. They love them some crisis, right? They love crisis, right? They love crisis. And if they can present that there's a crisis that the threat to democracy, Donald Trump can't solve because Donald Trump doesn't deal with crisis. We're in a crisis. We're in a crisis. We got to change some. We got to change some rules on how we do things, so that you have to have, so people don't have to go out of their houses to vote and blah 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 because it's a crisis. And so we could tax you up the ass because it's a crisis. The climate change is a crisis. And now we have another crisis. It's almost like they're they're managing themselves right into crisis, so they can be the only ones who can save us from it. And crisis, worst stripper name ever. Oh, funny. Anyway, all right, let's say hi to everybody. And it's a news show, so I'm going to talk about the news and I'll commentate it on it and whatever you call that word. First in chat on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diabli gets the bell today. Yes! The most prolific bell getter on the planet. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, Phantom Dog Fart, the greatest name on the internet, and Nano Horizon, a new name in the chat. I am so happy that you're here. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, call your mom, say, hey, there's the last boomer. And I am the last boomer. That's official. Oh, by the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee right here. I'm fueled by gangster rap and coffee today. Although I haven't listened, look. Gangster rap, there's no real gangster rap anymore. There's a bunch of idiots who the companies promote because that's the image they want to show of us. And we buy into it. We're dumb enough to follow it. Anyway, but gangster rap to me, like, that'd be like, for me, it's, public. Well, I guess not Public Enemy. Public Enemy was more, I don't know how to describe Public Enemy, but, NWA would be the epitome of gangster rap. Maybe Onyx. Maybe, I don't know. Snoop kind of started out in that, but he was always kind of this smooth cat dude thing. Anyway, so I said hi to everyone on Rumble. How about on YouTube? First in the chat, Mr. Avocados Diabli gets the bell again, because again, the most prolific bell getter who even beat me into the chat, which is hard to do. My computer glitched out right in the middle of setting this up, and so Avocados Diabli, Johnny on the spot, got the bell. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier. Mr. Whoops. Whoa. What was that? That was a mistake. Mr. Tire Alexander. The Gentleman Lich is in the house. Also, good morning, Aaron Meredith, Mark Smart, Mike Savage, Blarg, Share You Gospel, Zed the Snarky, my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony's here. Good morning. Good morning, Maddie. Hello to Tyler F., Lord Stanhope, Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Good morning also to Robert Gruber. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Number one is in the house. Patio Furniture is here. Let's see. I said Lord Stanhope. I got, who else is here? I said Mark. Did I say Mark? Mark Sparks back. Nice. Mark, how you doing, Mark? Good to see you again. Attack Alpaca. Am I getting close? Darren Root is in the house. Welcome, sir. Jen T, what's up? Another one of my favorite Canadians. Hello, my lady. But I'm not going to tip a hat because that's stupid and gay. Also, Unacceptable Views. Man, the Canadian contingent is strong in here, as always. So, I'm glad you're all here. Welcome to the show. 38 people here. Holy shit. On YouTube. That's pretty good for me. Hit the like button whether they're on YouTube on Rumble. Also, the way to spot the show, hit the like button, share the stream. That's the big one. But you can also do that at pdognight.live. That would be the donation link for Streamlabs, which is my preferred donation link. Plus, the best thing about it is if you do a Streamlabs super chat, so to speak, you don't get fewer words just because you only did $2 versus $20. You can put the same amount of characters. I think it's 256. You can get your thought out in a full, complete sentence without having to, truncate it. But I might have to truncate if you write some silly, really super saucy stuff. But anyway, if you wanted to be the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today, that's where to do it. But you can also do Rumble Rants and YouTube Super Chats. I think I might even have Venmo and Cash App links in the chat in the description, but nobody ever uses those. Someone used it once, and I was like, "Whoa, where is this from?" This is like, that was cool. It's all my stuff is either at PDogNight or $PDogNight without punctuation if you need it. But again, PDogNight.live, or the link that I dropped, or I put in the I pinned it in the chat on YouTube. Here, I'll drop it in the chat on Rumble. That's where you can donate to the show. All right, good enough. Let's get this show started because we got a lot to do, and I've already wasted a quarter of the time that I have. First, thank you to the people who already did share the show. Somnambule Nation, of course, who is always beats me to it, which is great. Swamp Fox Ghost, thank you for retweeting my tweet. Maddie, of course, always puts out the show too, and I try to retweet everyone who does that, so thank you for doing that. Retweet as in repost, now that it's the app formerly known as Twitter. Nano, thank you very much. Nano Horizon on also on Twitter. Did you just follow me? You followed me before. Anyway, thank you for retweeting the show. And who else left? Another guy, V. V, are you here? I didn't see you in the chat. You're probably here somewhere. Let's get into it. So the main topic I do want to talk about, though, is Iran. And I ran so far away. I don't know why I always do that. Just because, you know, I'm a singing guy. I like show tunes and 80s hits. So there you go. But not so much show tunes. The only show tunes I really know are from West Side Story for the most part. Although I've been in this choir, you know, I joined this community choir just because one of my friends is in it, and so they, and we've been watching her perform. She's our kid's adopted grandmother, basically, and she's been in this community choir for about 8 or 9 years. We've always go to the performances, and I decided that I would join too. Oh, thank you for sharing on Discord, Mark Smart. Appreciate it. And we are doing one. It's like this. They do a winter concert and a spring concert every year. And this year, they are doing. It's mostly pop tunes, but one of the songs in this concert is "Rhythm of Life" from Sweet Charity. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's an interesting song because it's a lot of enunciation and staccato type singing in it, which I haven't really sung anything seriously since church choir about 20 years ago. But if you didn't know, I was a voice major in college for the first 2 years of college until I decided that I was going nowhere as a voice major and I didn't want to be a music teacher. So anyway, that's too much information. So let's start with Iran because that's the main topic, and even though it's also one of the top trending topics on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. So as we look in the there's a lot of interesting posts here. Oh, I should probably be careful because it is X, and anytime you scroll on X, you know there's a chance of body parts that you do not want on your screen ending up on your screen by accident. So I really got to be careful about that. But here's a couple things that people are saying about Iran on X. And a lot of people have been posting this video of Biden because it's very apropos. So back in 2020, Joe Biden was warning black voters like me that Trump was so dangerous. How dangerous is he? So dangerous that he would get the United States into a war with Iran. Irony! 4 years later, 3 black soldiers have been killed in Biden's Iran war. If y'all don't wake up, if this doesn't wake you up, nothing will. So here's Joseph Rahim Biden. If you don't vote for Joseph Rahim Biden, you ain't black. Here's what he was saying in 2020.
The world has changed because of what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the war is closing in this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election.
Oh, man.
The world has changed because of what Trump has done.
He might get us into a war in Iran. Wow. That's rich. And so as we, I suppose I can scroll down this. I'll just be careful because I know it doesn't show up on my screen entirely. So people are saying about Iran. Glenn Greenwald here. Biden is about to do exactly that, which he said in 2020 Trump does not have the power to. Oh, yeah, here's the other thing. So in 2020, he also is saying, let's be clear, Donald Trump does not have the authority to take us into war with Iran without congressional approval. A president should never take this nation into war without the informed consent of the American people, and you might add in, well, the approval from Congress, right? Approval from Congress. So Glenn Greenwald adds, well, Biden's about to do exactly that, which he said in 2020 Trump does not have the power to do, perpetrate acts of war against Iran without congressional approval. And very, very, very few of any of the people who cheered this 2020 pronouncement by Biden will care or object. Well, because they can say, oh, yes, we've had an attack on Americans, which we have. This is just, look, and it almost seems inevitable that's what's going to happen because of this attack. And I don't get it. I don't get why we are more diligent on this. So anyway, so this Joan got through. Someone here, John Hayward, the thought of Joe Biden and his all-star team of absolute incompetence trying to manage an escalating war with Iran is absolutely horrifying. Oh my God, that is the truth. And in Jimmy Dore, there's no bigger warmonger, psychopathic puppet of the military-industrial complex than Joe Biden. Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Gaza, and Iran and China are next. Voting for Biden is a vote for war and genocide and a vote against workers. Every accusation he makes about Trump is a confession. America needs a real revolution. Now Jimmy Dore, don't get it twisted that he's endorsing Donald Trump there, but that is certainly a ringing anti-endorsement for Raheem Biden. I'm shocked that Biden hasn't sent Iran pallets of cash. Now, some of the contrarians, at least on the origin of this, they call it a suicide drone that attacked this base. Well, apparently the Pentagon has admitted that it has no evidence that Iran was even behind the drone attack that killed 3 troops in Jordan. This is an attack in Jordan, right? So, and a lot of people are posting this video right here of this Pentagon official. What is this? When I think Pentagon spokesman, I mean, I shouldn't judge. In fact, this particular Pentagon spokesman almost looks Persian, if you ask me. But I get it. I'm not knocking women even, but could it be a military officer or something that could be a Pentagon spokesman? And I don't care if she's female, but this is not what I expect when I think Pentagon spokesman. But here we go.
Idris.
Just to follow up, you said Iran was behind the attack. So what does that mean? Have you seen evidence of financing or directing anything specific to this attack? Not just generally, but specifically.
Okay, did you hear the question there? They said they claim that Iran, I don't know why I keep saying Iran. And I ran so far away. Okay, stop it. Do you have any evidence that this attack was by Iran? What am I saying? Boy, oh boy, I'm having some Biden mouth problems. All right, here we go. Here's her answer.
Maybe I need to clarify further from what Lita had mentioned. We know that Iran funds these groups. Like,
Okay, we know that Iran funds the groups, but they originally said the attack was by Iran. And again, they do fund the groups. So do we destroy the groups or we attack Iran? I don't know.
Hezbollah. We know that these IRGC-backed militias are the ones responsible for attacks on our troops in Iraq and Syria. Beyond that, we're doing an intelligence assessments. We don't have. I can't give you today that.
This attack, linking it to Iran.
We just know that Iran funds these groups like Kataib Hezbollah and other groups that have attacked our forces, but I don't have more to share on that.
You're saying, right?
As a general matter, yes.
Okay, because the initial reports said Iran. Okay, now again, we know they're Iran-backed groups, but as people are reacting to this, it's all over the board, too. So there's some people beating the drums of war. Some people are going, hey, wait a minute. Could it be a false flag? Well, would you kill your own soldiers for a false flag? I don't think so. But CJ Pearson, I'm not just saddened, I'm mad as hell. Just last year, Joe Biden gave billions of dollars to Iran. Remember that? Yeah, that's the other thing. We've been giving them pallets of cash just like when the other guy was there. Not the funny-haired guy, but the guy before him. You know who I'm talking about, right? Gave him $1 billion like a pallet, pallets of cash, right? Just last year, Joe Biden gave billions of dollars to Iran. Now Iran is using those same billions to kill American soldiers. And because of that, 3 of my fellow Georgians are now dead. This is CJ Pearson. The blood is on your hand, Joe Biden. We here in Georgia will not forget this. And again, I mean, can you directly blame Biden or not? Hello, Jethro Hetero over on Rumble. Welcome. Yeah, this is wild, man. This is wild. Ted Cruz, Joe Biden's policy of appeasement is utterly bizarre. He allowed billions of dollars to flow to Iran and to murder Americans and attack Israel. At the same time, Biden officials are talking about cutting off military aid to Israel. He helps the enemies of America and abandons our friends. And then he's went on the Ben Ferguson show to discuss it. So that's kind of a microcosm of the conversation about Iran right now. And this is, okay, who's Representative Mike Waltz? Where is he from? Congressman from Florida, U.S. Army Green Beret, author of War Diplomat. Okay, so this is Representative Mike Waltz, who says, saying don't to Iran is not a strategy. Here's what. Now, this is, again, there's a lot of people fired up the war machine. And I'm sure that the Biden administration is interested in that. And in fact, it's funny because right now, when you have Fox News and MSNBC putting on people who have the same opinion on this, that's when I really get fucking nervous. Okay, that means the I don't know what you call them. I don't want to call them the establishment, but I don't want them agreeing. Anyway, he says hit IRGC, which is the Republican Guard operatives, saying that they're not just proxies, dry up Iran's cash flow, enforce sanctions, not sit on our hands the next time the Iranian people rise up and demand change. Oh, what does that sound like? That sounds like regime change. Again, because a lot of the Iranian people aren't happy with their leaders. They want to live in the old Iran, the Iran pre-Ayatollah Iran, the modern Iran. A lot of them do, and they're sick of the theocracy, whatever that Iran has become. But let's hear his words, because I want to show you how similar his words are to maybe the other people on MSNBC. Here we go.
All roads lead back to Tehran instead of playing whack-a-mole with the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, these militias. And I'm telling you, I'm talking to soldiers downrange right now. We are bombing empty warehouses in the middle of the night so that this administration can check the box and say they're doing something. And they're doing nothing.
They're taking care of the crisis by bombing things. And they're saying empty warehouses.
That is meaningful, and now we have more Gold Star families because of it, and it's infuriating.
And it is infuriating because we don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why the question, the name of the show today, what are we doing? I can't make sense of it. Michael Tracy, one of those heartwarming days when the retired military officers on both MSNBC and Fox are uniting in demanding direct U.S. warfare against Iran.
Well, first of all, let me just say, obviously, that our U.S. deterrence posture in the Middle East is not working at this point. You know, here to date, we've had over
Wait. This is on MSNBC. Our U.S. military policies are not working in the Middle East. Really? How were they doing before Joseph Rahim Biden got into office? We were starting to sign the Abraham Accords. There was now. Look, we very well could have had this Palestinian attack, whether it was Biden or Trump, right? But there was no ambiguity on the part of Trump administration as to who we were siding with and what the consequences of those types of things would be. Okay. And, they kind of proved it there in that little Syria thing that Trump did that killed the Russian soldiers, and the Russians didn't say shit about it. But there's such ambiguity with everything with Joe Biden because he's not there. He's just not there. There are in Iran, okay, if you go on the internet and you say, look for Iranian TV shows making fun of the current president and vice president. Holy shit, they make him look like this just a fool, which is, somewhat accurate, right? They don't respect him. And that's, whether or not you think Donald Trump is nuts or he lies or this and that, blah, 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 blah. You know where he stands. It's very clear.
Attacks on U.S. forces and our interests in Iraq. We've also had the Houthis down south in Yemen that have attacked commercial assets and our U.S. troops that are trying to secure those commercial assets. So we're in a precarious situation at this point. Of course, we do not want this war to expand. However, we must put in place deterrence, and we must hold Iran accountable for their actions. We have to stop playing whack-a-mole and hitting the proxies and go after the source, the instigator in all this. And this is...
well, who would that be? Who's the source? Oh, so that means war with Iran. Can you vote against a wartime president?
Iran. Well, first of all...
So anyway, this is... holy shit. Holy shit, Batman. Anyway, so here's what's happening. I've ranted about that too long. 3 soldiers from Georgia identified as the troops killed in Jordan. I have them in the thumbnail. Pentagon announced the identities of 3 service members who were killed in Jordan on Sunday. The service members were soldiers from Georgia. The deceased were Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46, of Carrollton, Georgia. Specialist Kennedy Layden Sanders, 24, of Waycross, Georgia. And Specialist Brianna Alexandria Moffitt, 23, of Savannah, Georgia. They died after a drone hit their housing unit known as a Container Housing Unit, or CHU. The 3 soldiers were assigned to the 718th Engineering Group, 926th Engineer Battalion, and 926th Engineer Brigade, Fort Moore, Georgia. Sanders, who was affectionately known as Munchkin, was identified on Monday as one of the 3 killed in the attack. That also injured at least 34, according to WTOC. Sanders was 24, according to News 4 Jax. Flags were flown at half-staff around Waycross, the outlet reported. The WTOC reported Waycross Mayor Michael Angelo James plans to hold an honorary service when her body is returned home. Sanders' father, Sean Sanders, posted on Facebook, "Our family would like to thank you for the respect given to Kennedy. Munchkin will be missed by many." Meanwhile, okay, then and then they have memorials for the other two also here, it looks like. So I encourage you to read these. For those, if you're new here, these will all be in the links that I post in the chat at the end of the show. Also, I'll drop those links in the description on both Rumble and YouTube. Now here it is. Pressure mounts on Biden to confront Iran after drone strike kills U.S. soldiers. In fact, we saw yesterday, Lindsey Graham, of course, there's no war. Has the McCain foreign policy theory that you bomb Iran. Republicans slam Biden for doctrine of appeasement towards Iran. Okay, so yeah, the war right and the you know, what do you call them? The military industrial complex left will be getting together on this one. Biden administration is under immense pressure from Republicans and some Democrats in Congress to confront Iran and its terror proxies following a weekend drone strike by Tehran's terrorist proxies that killed three U.S. service members and wounded 25 more. Republican foreign policy leaders quickly blame President Joe Biden's doctrine of appeasement toward Iran for the most recent airstrike in Jordan, which follows months of Tehran-orchestrated attacks on American and Western forces in the region in the wake of Israel's war against Hamas. Key Democrats are also beginning to express concerns about the administration's tepid response, thus far to Iran's increasingly deadly strike, with Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland saying the weekend drone attack is an escalation that cannot go unanswered. Amid this pressure, the White House is signaling that it has no desire to directly confront Tehran, with National Security Advisor John Kirby telling MAC this morning, "We are not looking for war with Iran." Biden said on Sunday the United States would hold all those responsible to account at a time and in a matter of our choosing, but no concrete details have emerged since. So, and then they get into how the terror proxies of Iran, such as the Houthis and Hezbollah and whatever, are, you know, doing all this shit, and then now we've got dead Americans. But then you have some of the Republicans, same Senator James Risch, ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, also blamed the Biden administration's weak policies for producing this dangerous situation. Well, we do like to give them pallets of cash. He's saying we must permanently freeze funds, enforce oil sanctions, and restore credible deterrence. Risch said, Americans at home and our troops in the field deserve an Iran policy that protects them and U.S. interests. Inaction only serves to fuel Iran and its proxies further. You know, yeah, we keep freeing up their money. Roasted opinion, good morning, by the way. Iraq and Iran are two different countries that hate each other. Calling Iran Iraq is a potential diplomatic incident with Iraq. What an idiot. Did I do that, or did someone do that? Did someone else do? Oh, that, yeah. You're talking about the general. Yeah, that was it. He did screw that up, didn't he? Ted Cruz, also a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, blamed the Biden administration for championing diplomacy with Tehran that has resulted in sanctions being dismantled and Iran's proxies free to attack American positions in the Middle East. So, certainly there is some truth to that. But there are certainly those already banging war drums, Lindsey Graham especially, because, you know, he doesn't have any kids. He doesn't care. Or is it him? Yeah, Lindsey Graham doesn't have any kids, does he? Anyway, now this is interesting too. Biden administration accused again of previewing to the enemy its response to the three dead soldiers. President Biden and his administration are being accused of telegraphing their alleged forthcoming punches against Iran and its terrorist proxy groups in the Middle East after 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in a terror attack over the weekend. Sky News reported Monday afternoon that Biden was preparing to authorize U.S. military action against those responsible for the attack as early as tonight, thus potentially tipping them off. Now, how did Sky News get this information? Shortly after the suicide drone attack was carried out on Sunday, the Iranian-backed terrorists responsible for the attack evacuated their post and spread out their most valuable equipment in anticipation of U.S. airstrikes. Biden officials leaked to Politico on Monday night the targets that Biden were considering. This is a clown show. Among the options on the table for the Pentagon, striking Iran personnel in Syria or Iraq or Iranian naval assets in the Persian Gulf, according to the officials. Iranian government, for its part, has suggested that a strike on Iran itself would be a red line. And I'm pretty sure when they say a red line, they don't mean like an Obama red line, right? The officials suggested that once the president gave the go-ahead, the retaliation would likely begin in the next couple of days and come in waves against a range of targets. So there's a whole lot of Hammond and Hahn in the rest of the article about what that means. But yeah, probably not a brilliant idea to telegraph what you're about to do. All right, let's move on to the rest of the topics because I'm running out of time already. And I got a lot to jump through. So let's do that. Genius, we will tell everyone where we are targeting. They will never expect it. And after that, yes, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition either, but you know, unless you tell them it's coming. All right, other things that are trending. Somalia is still trending because Miss Omar, our lovely congresswoman from the state of Minnesota, gave that Somalia First speech the other night, which was kind of weird. As she was speaking to people, I think it was at a festival in Minneapolis. Representative Ilhan Omar, the Somalian-born Minnesota Democrat, was recorded telling a Somali audience that they are, quote, people of the same blood, people who know they are Somalians. Oh, she wouldn't have said Somalians, though, because she would say Somalis. But anyway, first, Muslims second, who protect each other, adding she is here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Really? Huh. What up, Trippy? How you doing, bro? Trippy Liberty's in the house. Nice to see you, sir. Omar's speech was prompted by anger in Somalia and among the Somali diaspora over an agreement between Ethiopia and the Republic of Somaliland, an officially unrecognized but effectively self-governing state in Somalia's north. She said, Somalia is for Somali people. Somalia is one. We are all brothers and sisters. Our land cannot be divided. So maybe they're having a little bit of an insurrection problem in Somalia, although the Somaliland has been self-administered for a while, and that's probably part of the reason that the Civil War happened there. But she said, assuring listeners that Somalis in the U.S. will decide the U.S. position on Somaliland, and even alluding to reclaiming Somali territories in modern-day Kenya and Ethiopia and other neighboring countries. So she's got to work from the inside of the United States to help that along. Well, that's probably not the smartest move to make, but that's why she's trending. A lot of people talking about that. Oh, the other thing too, she posted something. FY, Somali people are called Somalis, not Somalians. If you are going to talk about us, at least try to get our ethnicity right. Thank you. To which Matt Walsh says, cool, go back to Somalia and you'll never have to worry about people using the wrong term again. There you go. And he's an expert on what people call themselves. So there you go. So, and also, you know, the Somali flag and the new Minnesota flag look very, very similar. I just is so screwed up when they did the old, we changed our flag in the state of Minnesota. So in this picture, you can see what the Somalian flag looks like with the green, white, and light blue, and then has a star here. Well, if you look at the new state of Minnesota flag, green, white, and light blue, with the star, which is supposed to represent the North Star, but is that really? Why do we do this? Our state's kind of goofy, man. Our state's kind of goofy. All right, let's move on. Also trending, Jack Smith is trending. Now, Jack Smith is trending. The one story that I wanted to emphasize is this one that people on the left are really excited about. They are really, really excited about. Apparently, the Department of Justice has subpoenaed Congress for records, and the lefties are saying that likely means the DOJ is amping up criminal investigations related to January 6th. Are they going to try to go after some of the people in Congress claiming that they were part of an insurrection? Here it is. This is someone at the House floor speaking about this.
The Honorable the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. This is to notify you formally, pursuant to Rule 8 of the Rules of the House of Representatives, that the office of the Sergeant at Arms for the House of Representatives has been served with a grand jury subpoena for documents issued by the U.S. Department of Justice. After consulting with the Office of General Counsel, I have determined that compliance with the subpoena is consistent with the rights and privileges of the House. Signed sincerely, William P. McFarland, Sergeant at Arms of the House of Representatives.
Now, so like I said, they're all excited thinking that this is going to be, they're going to get Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all the, and you know, what's the dude from Missouri? Jed Hawley. They're going to arrest these Republican insurrectionists and make sure that they can't run for office just like Trump. Da, da, da. Whatever. And again, here's another one. Jack Smith's about to get all them fuckers. That sound you hear is the clenching of buttholes all across the Republican Party. He's going to go after every Republican in the House. And again, right here, who agrees that insurrectionists should not serve in Congress? Now, the oh, these motherfuckers. If this is really what they're doing, get ready. Jack Smith is coming. So, anyway. By the way, speaking of which, what is this? Judge overseeing Trump. What is this? Hang on a second. Judge overseeing Trump case rules against Jack Smith. Federal judge presiding over former President Donald Trump's January 6th case in Washington, D.C., handing him a partial victory in a ruling handed down on Thursday. According to reports, U.S. District Court Tanya Chutkan partially limited what special counsel Jack Smith is permitted to do in the alleged election interference case. Trump's legal team submitted a motion earlier this month asking Judge Chutkan to find Smith in contempt for continuing to file documents in the case despite the judge issuing a stay order in December. Trump has filed an appeal in the Washington, D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals to determine whether presidential immunity applies to the charges brought against him by Jack Smith, despite Chutkan's. Okay, I didn't, whatever that is. I'll leave the article up. I think we already knew about this. Hello, lunatic. What's up? As in, you're a ridiculous lunatic. Nice to see you. Joy Reid is trending. Oh, I didn't finish wait a minute. Let me go back. Why did I skip so much? And people are saying, let's see. Oh, here, interesting battle brewing in classified docs case. Remember that? That's from January 26th. Oh, we already did this. We already did this one. Okay. Anyway, Jack Smith's trending as usual, just like every day. Joy Reid is trending. Now, Joy Reid dropped an F-bomb on live TV on a hot mic that she didn't know was on. Here it is, the story. MSNBC's Joy Reid drops F-bomb on a hot mic. Reid said, okay, I want to play the clip because apparently she's doing this story on Joe Biden, saying that congressional Republicans love to latch on to President Biden and Democrats' successful policies to take credit for things they didn't do while tying themselves into pretzels to do nothing for the American people and for the sake of Donald Trump. Case in point, fixing what they say is a crisis on the border without, here it is. How long? Yeah, this is it right here. Listen.
Congressional Republicans love to latch on to President Biden and Democrats' successful policies and take credit for things they didn't do.
Okay, successful policies like infrastructure bills. Okay, so some of the Republicans who did not vote for the infrastructure bill are now saying, since that infrastructure bill passed, we were still able to procure some of the money for infrastructure projects in our state, right? So as if there would never, ever have been an infrastructure bill, right? Like, there's always infrastructure bills. And so even though they didn't vote for the particular infrastructure bill that ended up passing, they still have to determine which projects the money goes to. And yes, they have to do a little work to say, hey, we need it for this project, that project. Okay. And so she's upset that they take credit for, getting those projects, at least started or funded. Okay. But yeah, successful policies, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Anyway, here she goes.
While tying themselves into pretzels to do nothing for the American people for the sake of Donald Trump.
By the way, did she kill Eminem and steal his hair? Like, did she scalp Eminem? Anyway, sorry.
Trump. Case in point, fixing what they say is a crisis at the border. With congressional negotiators
listen carefully.
Work on a bipartisan deal to tie border policy changes to funding for Ukraine. Over the weekend, President Biden said he's ready to take action if Congress is serious about solving the border issue.
Now, remember, she's talking about this. They're trying to do this bill where they're tying funding Ukraine, funding Israel, funding troops in Syria, and then, oh yeah, and we'll just add on some to the border so we can sweeten the pot because Republicans want some border shit done. Okay? And, some Republicans are saying, wait a minute. How about if we have a standalone border bill and take care of that first? Since we're so busy taking care of other people's borders, let's take care of our own with a single bill. Let's not tie it to other funding and make it so that if we don't like this and we vote against it, you can say, well, you voted against border protection. Anyway.
Issue.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. And Congress needs to get it done.
Starting another fucking war.
Oh, did you hear that? That was Joy in the background complaining that Biden be starting another fucking war. That was a hot mic on MSNBC. Now, interesting though, I want to focus a little bit on what Biden said there though, okay, which is interesting. What did he say? He said,
if that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
Holy shit. You know what, Joe Biden, I hate to break this to you. There's nothing stopping you from shutting the border down without the bill. You got to be aware of that, right? At any time, the president has, one of the rare powers the president has is the ability to have an executive order shut down the border, if there's, something's going wrong down there. So I don't know what the hell he meant there. But anyway, I think Joy Reid's not excited about the possibility of war with Iran, I guess. So I guess at least she has an interesting some sense. Also trending, Rachel Maddow's trending. Now, not because of Rachel Maddow herself, but because E. Jean Carroll was making the rounds on a bunch of these shows after the 68 or 83 or whatever the hell $1 million verdict she got from a jury in the defamation case. So a lot of people are pointing out that E. Jean Carroll confirms that her case against Trump is just one big money grab. She says she will try to gouge more money from him. At this point, I say there's less than 1% chance Carroll's story is true. So a lot of people are posting this particular part of that clip right here.
E. Jean, in terms of the what you've just been through, I mean, to hear a lawyer as experienced as Ravi Kaplan say it was nerve-wracking to be in that room sometimes because of the way this was conducted.
Now, look at the woman on the left. Not. I was going to say something really rude about Rachel Maddow. Hello, amazing disgrace. The woman to the right of E. Jean Carroll, which would be the person on her. And also, it's interesting how much makeup they put on E. Jean Carroll because she's 72 years old. Why are they trying to make her look like a 30-year-old? But anyway, the woman on the left, as you look at the screen, our left of her, is very solemn and whatever. But look at the kind of the expression that E. Jean Carroll is having about this, and listen to what she says. Hi, Greg Rogers.
I have to ask you, President Trump has kept your name out of his mouth since being told he has to pay $83 million to you for what he's done in the past. But
no, he hasn't. He said it was a miscarriage of justice. Now, if it was her actual name or about the verdict, he didn't shut up about the verdict. He thinks it's ridiculous and it's going to be appealed. That's what he said. Anyway,
over the weekend, he did start posting links online to articles that attacked you and denied your claims. Again, he seems to be pushing it already in terms of whether or not he is going to go back to calling you a liar and denying that he did what he did.
Oh, wow. What did he do there, Rachel? I'll tell you the stories. I'll call her a liar. I think she's a liar. I think she's a liar based on the story she wrote. The story she wrote, not only unlikely, but in some ways physically impossible. But here, keep going.
If it came to it, if your lawyers told you that there was another case and that you should go back and get more money out of him and sue him again, would you do it?
Oh, by the way, she's not going to get a dime from him for a very long time. She won't get a dime from him. Even if he has to put up money to do the appeal, she will not get a dime from him for a very, very long time. And also, there's just the amounts are ridiculous. But anyway, here's I should probably let her answer so I can tell you. Look how excited they are, though. Look how excited they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't too much wear and tear on you. I mean, the guts factor here is real in terms of how much you put yourself
This traumatic
out there.
experience she
A lot
had.
of big, strong people have been wouldn't put themselves through what you've gone through.
I mean, look how the joy on their faces. Holy shit.
Don't.
This experience was so terrible for her. She probably couldn't sleep at night.
Many people, as you know, have been through much worse than I went through at that trial. People suffered more difficult things than I've ever been through in my life. And I am more than willing to do it again because we achieved so much
Yes.
in a 7-day trial. We did what people thought was impossible. We beat Donald Trump.
Okay. Are you whole now? It's interesting. So anyway, but here again, did E. Jean Carroll admit her real motivations against Donald Trump? E. Jean Carroll's accusations against Trump were dubious at best, yet Trump's denial of her claims just resulted in a jury awarding Carroll ridiculously high punitive damages. Carroll accused Trump of sexually assaulting her nearly 30 years ago with a story that sounds like she lifted entirely from an episode of Law & Order SVU. The tie between the alleged assault and her decision to go public with it certainly raises many questions about her true motivations. It also appears she isn't being shy about what this is really about. And it's not about accountability for an assault that likely didn't happen or defamation, but helping the Democrats beat Trump in November. In an interview on CBS Mornings Monday, Carroll compared Trump to the emperor in the classic Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Emperor Has No Clothes, that is written about Donald Trump, he asserted. It's just we're the ones who clothe him in all this power. He has none himself. It's his followers. It's his hanger-ons. In the interview, Carroll was asked if Joe Biden's campaign had reached out to her about helping their effort. She said no, but asked if she would be interested in doing so. She said, "I'll do anything I can." Similarly, she told CNN that she can't imagine Trump winning a re-election in November. "Oh, please, I can't think of that. I can't think of that. I don't think it's going to happen," she said. Could it be any clearer that her motivations have less to do with personal justice and more to do with political retribution? Trump has been the target of countless books making spurious accusations. Omarosa Manigault Newman's tell-all book about her time in the Trump White House contained all kinds of stories that were later debunked. But perhaps the most famous example is Fire and Fury by Michael Wolff. The book was aggressively hyped up by the media because of all the damaging allegations contained in its pages, including the claim that Trump had an affair with Nikki Haley. Liberals went nuts and made the book a bestseller, but the author eventually admitted that his hit job had nothing to do with truth. A factual admission that his book belonged in the fiction section and not on the nonfiction bestseller list. So Carroll's book and the subsequent accusation of defamation were just a more aggressive weaponization of the same book-selling strategy. The curious timing of her accusations, coupled with the fact that her story appears to have been completely derived from the plot of a television show, would have convinced an objective jury that her claims were dubious. But it's nearly impossible for Trump to get an objective jury in deep blue cities where he is forced to stand trial over the weakest of charges that would normally be laughed out of court. And in this case, that part of the trial never went in front of a jury. That part of the trial never went in front of a jury. That's amazing. Episkipos, how you doing? Good morning. Anyway, the radical left is terrified of going to lose the 2024 election and is trying every scheme possible to hold on to the White House. Blah, 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 blah. So that's all about that. Moving on. Also trading is Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich is talking about the border, where he's saying that Republicans should not give away the border issue by making a deal. And he's saying it's just dumb, having an absolute winning hand and saying, please, can I just lay down lay these down and lose the game? Here's the thing. So Democrats are criticizing people who have this thing, saying that the Republicans are just doing this so they can't give Biden a win. No, Republicans are doing this, opposing this crazy border deal that some of these senators are trying to negotiate with the White House, because it's a shitty deal. It is terrible, and they shouldn't even be thinking about it, especially because, like Biden was saying in that clip I showed you earlier, he's saying, well, if they give me this bill, I can shut down the border immediately. You already have that power, asshole. You already have the power to, by executive order, to temporarily shut down immigration completely, based on the fact that we've had 7 million people cross the border. It's probably more like 10 or 12 million. But since you came into office, you can already do that. You already have the power. You just are trying to make it so it looks like Republicans are, these mean Republicans, they're just playing politics with this issue and I can't do anything about it. Bullshit. Okay. Rant finished. Anyway. And apparently there's a campaign ad with Newt Gingrich, a Trump campaign ad with Newt Gingrich that clearly articulates the crimes of the Marxist Democrats, their subversion of the rule of law, and what's at stake in the 2024 election. So if you want to scroll through this, you can certainly do that. Here it is, Mr. Producer. Well, here's an article on it. Newt Gingrich. Senate border bill is suicidally stupid. What? Hey, no. Turn them.
Senate deal that Newt, very quickly, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has said this Senate deal, the outlines of it have leaked out, is dead on arrival. Do you agree with what he's saying, given the fact that it does not limit Biden's ability to parole people into the country, which could be obviously still in the millions?
Look. I've been an active Republican my whole life. Every once in a while, part of the party becomes suicidally stupid. That bill is suicidally stupid. It makes no sense. I will oppose it every way I can, and I hope that every Republican activist in the country will oppose it. It is a total sellout, and it's just dumb. I mean, it's like having an absolute winning hand and saying, please, can I just lay these down and lose the game anyway? I mean, all they got to do is say, we want to stop everything now. Not this. I mean, when I first heard that it has 5,000 people a day to come in, and that doesn't count as illegal immigration.
5,000 people a day.
I don't know what they're drinking, but it's not good.
Okay, so there you go. That is the truth about that bill. It's ridiculous. The idea that Joe Biden's hands are tied of shutting off the border until they pass this bill that will allow 5,000 people a day to cross the border, 3,600 of which can do it illegally, makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. How do you really feel about that, P-Dog? You left some gray areas there. Yes, I tend to do that. And finally, the last Twitter link I was going to show you here is from Jeff Charles. Because now, apparently, the carbon footprint of homegrown food is 5 times greater than those grown conventionally. Oh, they don't want you growing your own food now? This is some World Economic Forum bullshit. All right, I'm going to touch on all the stories that I'm not getting to. Joe Biden's unvetted Afghans are going to score green cards as part of the Senate deal, too. Remember all those Afghanis they brought over that were, after the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, and they brought thousands of Afghanis over, but they didn't really vet a whole lot of them before they released them into the public. Well, apparently, the tens of thousands of Afghans brought to the United States by President Joe Biden, and whom whistleblowers have warned are not vetted, would score green cards and eventually naturalized American citizenship as part of the deal negotiated in the Senate by Senator James Langford of Oklahoma, who the entire Oklahoma Republican Party has denounced over this bullshit. Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, and Kirsten Sinema, independent from Arizona. It would increase annual legal immigration, permit thousands of illegal aliens to arrive at the southern border daily, and require the Department of Homeland Security to release thousands of border crossers into the U.S. interior every few days, among other things. So fuck those guys, FTG, even though it's not Thursday. American Spectator just talks about the bad border deal. It's shit. You can read that one too. I'll just go right by it. And also in City Journal, just talking about Biden's border catastrophe, the president's recent pledge to shut down the border suggests that if nothing else could, his political survival might finally motivate him to enforce the law. Yeah, no, he wants it to appear that he wants to enforce the law. So he keeps making up this rhetoric. And if you listen to Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House spokesman, or spokesperson, this White House spokes-L, you can figure that one out yourself. She, all they want to do is they bring this proposal. They got a couple senators on board to jump in with it with this shitty deal that they're coming up with for border, their border security bill. And they know that it's DOA in the House. It's not going anywhere because it's a bullshit deal. But then they can say, well, see, Republicans are blocking us from making progress on the border and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. You've had 3 years where you could have shut down the fucking border. Shut up, you fucking assholes. I'm real. What is going on with me today? I have no idea. I need some coffee. Hang on. Anyway, it's a real good article. You can check that one out. And apparently, though, this was some surveillance footage from the Las Vegas Justice Court on January 23rd that shows the moment that Glenn Cromwell Jr. punched 59-year-old Yusuf Azami square in the face as Azami stood in the hall just outside the courtroom where he was scheduled for a preliminary hearing on kidnapping, lewdness, and sexual assault charges against Cromwell's daughter. So Cromwell punched him in the mouth. What a great dad. Okay, I don't condone the assault of people, but anyway, if you want to watch that video, it's in the link. Daily Caller, again, Biden's border crisis exposed America's dirty foreign agent secret. So the Biden open border policy gave Americans a small window to see into the minds of the people running the country. It seems like a no-brainer that the men and women elected to lead the U.S. put American interests it would seem that they would put American interests above all else, and yet there are daily reminders that not only are they not doing that, but their allegiance are to foreign nations wanting to destroy the country. The Daily Caller News Foundation reported exclusively Monday that federal authorities caught a Somali terrorist from the Al-Shabaab terror group at the California border. Wait, what? Look, like I've been saying, apparently the world sees Mexico as America's welcome mat. Okay, if you can, there's a tourist industry that brings people in Mexico who want to get through our southern border through illicit means. And apparently at the California border, this Somali terrorist from the Al-Shabaab terror group was caught but they released him into the interior of the United States, where he stayed for almost a year before eventually being arrested again. Where? Oh, none other than my lovely state of Minnesota. An internal memo identified the unnamed individual picked up by federal authorities on March 13, 2023. The man's name was run through a terror watch list by the Terrorist Screening Center, which determined he was safe to enter the U.S. He was allowed. Now, wait, how the fuck did he get to Mexico from Somalia to cross our border illegally? Seems like that might have been planned in advance. Anyway, he was allowed to travel freely through the country until January 18, 2024, when the TSC reran the man's name and confirmed he was a Somali terrorist involved in the use, manufacture, or transport of explosives or firearms, according to the report. So, and then they go into how Ilhan Omar says, she is speaking on behalf. She's representing Somalia in the United States Congress. Fan-fucking-tastic. All right. And Breitbart, Hamas has rejected a hostage deal, no agreement without an end of the war. It's going to keep going. Okay. There's nobody. And so, here's what I say. You're still in the find out phase. You've been fucking around and you're now finding out. And, we'll see what happens there. In the Daily Caller, Biden gave almost over $1 billion to the UN agency it just cut ties with over the terror-linked staffers. We already talked about this yesterday. A little more detail there. Now, this is funny because John Kirby, the White House spokesman for, I think, NSA, I don't know what it is. Anyway, here's him. Maybe. Play. Okay. Well, that ain't going to work. So, fuck it. He's just saying that let's not impugn the good work of the whole agency, the UNRWA, because of the potential bad actions here of a small number. Yeah. Well, now we're not giving him money anymore, at least. Daily Wire, Pelosi scolds pro-Hamas protesters outside her house, telling them to go back to China. Now, I'm not sure what that means, but apparently they were...
ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. I have no connection with China.
Okay, anyway, she told them to go back to China. And I think that has something to do with one of the Code Pink members, Code Pink. I think Jody Evans' husband is he's a here it is, a Shanghai-based tech entrepreneur, Neville Roy Singham. So anyway, but they're protesting at Nancy Pelosi's house too. Good. I'm glad they're protesting at her house. Maybe it'll keep them off the freeway. That because the freeway protest. What the fuck's someone driving to their job at Arby's gonna do to make a ceasefire in Gaza? Huh? All you're doing is fucking up someone's day. If you're gonna protest somebody, go protest Nancy Pelosi. That's perfect. Maybe you can. Don't bring any hammers though, because it would be bad for her husband. Anyway, in National Pulse, judge who said Trump should be off of the Illinois ballot was appointed by a rhino who backed Clinton in 2016. Retired Illinois Judge Clark Erickson had recommended removing President Donald Trump from the Illinois state primary ballot. The former state circuit court judge was appointed to the bench in 1995 by moderate Republican Governor Jim Edgar, a vocal and aggressive critic of Trump's presidency, the National Polls can reveal. So when I saw this story, I thought this was an active judge that was saying that Trump should be removed from the ballot. I'm like, wait a minute, do they have a case there right now? And apparently this was just a former judge giving his opinion somewhere, but it made news everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, did they try this shit in another state? Again, I would contend that presidential eligibility is not and especially insurrection, not within the jurisdiction of state courts. And so they can't really make a finding of fact. They have to have a federal body that said that there was an actual insurrection. I've been making that argument for quite a while now. Oh, by the way, did you know 5 years ago yesterday was the Jussie Smollett hoax? I completely forgot. I was going to commemorate the anniversary of Jussie Smollett, and I forgot. And apparently the day after, Joe Biden spread the Jussie Smollett hate crime hoax. Let's see, on January 29, 2019, Empire actor Jussie Smollett, who is black and gay made national headlines with claims that a pair of white supremacist Trump supporters violently attacked him. The actor said his assailants screamed, "This is MAGA country!" and in the apparent far-right city of Chicago. And so Joe Biden apparently said this on January 29, 2019. "What happened to Jussie Smollett must never be tolerated in this country. We must stand up and demand that we no longer give this hate safe harbor, that homophobia and racism have no place on our streets or in our hearts. We're with you, Jussie." What's a Jussie? Oh, black and gay. Got it. Yeah. Anyway, also Kamala Harris did the same thing. "Jussie Smollett is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. I'm praying for his quick recovery." Oh my gosh, the recovery from his self-induced necktie that really never tied. This was an attempt at a modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear for their life because of sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront this hate. Oh, fuck Jussie Smollett. I have to tell you though, it was my second week doing this show, and it was the greatest thing ever. I had something to talk about for like 6 months, just having to talk about Jussie Smollett every day. It was fucking awesome. All right, in the PJ Media, White House corporate state media salivate for World War III. Yeah, again, Iran via proxy attacked U.S. installments in Jordan yesterday. And the corporate media is just, again, they're salivating. You can read that one on your own, but you know that they are. One, it's a distraction from everything else. And two, it would give them something to say, "Oh, we have a crisis. We can't switch presidents during a crisis." Except, unless it's COVID, of course. Censorship Industrial Complex enlists UK misinformation group Logically.ai to meddle in the 2024 election. Now, I've noticed this when I've been using like AI tools. Like I have a couple of AI tools I'm using just to, try to. I use it as kind of a tool to put thoughts into a succinct, into a succinct message, and then I can rewrite from there. And I noticed one time I was talking about when I was trying to design my my climate change ever since the Ice Age t-shirt that you can get if you're on YouTube, you can just hit that shop or something button. Anyway, I was trying to do it through different AI tools to figure out prompts I could use to make art from it. And one of them, I think it was Claude AI, which I like Claude except for this particular fact, refused to help me design a shirt with that theme because it said something to the effect that you shouldn't be able to make light of such for such a crisis, such as global warming. It would not allow me to do it. Now, ChatGPT allowed it to me, a couple others allowed me to do it, and I was like, as I was doing this, but Claude wouldn't let me. And guess what? Your AI programs, if you use them, some of them are, input in, input out, right? What they program it to do, it will do. Like Google, if you do a search on Google, it downgrades a lot of other websites. You might not even see them unless you go through 6 or 7 pages, even if you have the exact name of the page, if it's something of wrongthink. Well, AI is also possibly doing that. Brian Murphy, former federal FBI agent who once led the intelligence wing of the Department of Homeland Security, reflected last summer on the failures of the Disinformation Governance Board, the panel that formerly formed to actively police information. The board, which proposed in April 2022 after he left DHS, was quickly shelved by the Biden administration in a few short months in the face of criticism that it could be an Orwellian state-sponsored ministry of truth. Well, this article tells you how sometimes your AI, if you use any AI tools, you might be getting Ministry of Truth information through AI. So interesting. PJ Media, Janet Yellen. Oh, Janet Yellen threw Biden under the bus over inflation. What did she say? To her credit, she admitted that they'd been completely wrong about inflation. She says, well, look, I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. As I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly that I didn't at the time fully understand. and when someone said something about inflation coming down, she basically calls that bullshit because we know inflation, prices aren't coming down, and she knows that as well as anyone. All right, I got a few other articles. I'm just going to show you some headlines. Oakland's largest private employer tells employees to stay in buildings for lunch for their own safety because, well, Oakland is a fairly dangerous city right now. There's the progressive prosecutor for ousted Chelsea Boudin launches a San Francisco DA bid. So, you know, they got rid of Chesa Boudin, the Soros bought and paid for prosecutor in San Francisco that really wasn't focused on crime, but mostly focused on, you know, I don't know what the hell he was focused on. He was letting people go left and right, and San Francisco's a shithole. Well, a prosecutor that worked in his office, who's also a progressive, is now bidding for that office. Now, I think the people of San Francisco said, fuck that Chesa Boudin guy, get the fuck rid of him. I wonder if this guy's going to have a hard time getting in, just even being related to Chesa Boudin. Interesting. Also in New York Post, a New York City councilman and Central Park 5 member Yusuf Salam faces calls to resign as safety committee leader after lying about an NYPD traffic stop. There's a whole thing on X right now too about him because Charlie Kirk wrote this very long tweet, accused him of being participating in gang rape because he's part of the Central Park 5. And then kind of retracting it, but then going through just every detail that, look, the narrative around the Central Park 5 being exonerated is, let's just say it's iffy, so to speak, because there's a lot about that case. The fact that that's a long story. I'll get into that another day. Let's see. Oh, some liberal in a district attorney office in San Francisco asked a colleague what color her panties were. Oh, except she happened to be his boss. He said it to the wrong person, and he got fired. There's a whole story about that. Breitbart prediction market gives Donald Trump a 94% chance of securing the GOP nomination and a 55% chance of beating Joe Biden. You know, prediction market is isn't a betting market, but the idea that, look, Donald Trump will win the Republican nomination. Will they allow him to continue if they try to fast track some of these bullshit cases against him? Or if the Supreme Court, God, I don't know if it surprised me or not, if they ruled against him in the Colorado case. I don't know how they could rule for the state of Colorado in that. It almost has to be struck down 9-0. But boy, I've read some of the amicus briefs that are supporting it. And boy, they are really swinging for the fences on that one. They really want to use lawfare to deny Donald Trump being on a ballot. We'll see what happens there. Also in Breitbart, Turning Point Action identifies 4.5 million disengaged GOP voters across 10 battleground states. They're saying that 4.5 million Republican voters that might normally vote didn't vote in 2020 and could more than enough to be swinging the election. Now, how are they going to go out and get these voters? And how are they going to attract the new voters, the ones who seem a little bit down on Joe Biden, particularly in places like the South Bronx and the South Side of Chicago? Are they going to do outreach? Are they going to go Scott Pressler the whole fucking country like they should be? Probably not, because Republicans suck at organizing. And so who knows if they can get the 4.5 million disengaged Republican voters to vote. Or how many are of those disengaged Republican voters also not so excited about Trump either, just like the Democrats aren't so excited about Joe Biden. Maybe we should get them excited about getting rid of fucking Joe Biden. Okay? Huh? Yeah? Think about that. Breitbart Ukraine says U.S. money not going to Ukraine and it's benefiting American interests. Yeah, of course it is. That's the plan. They're earmarking all this money for Ukraine, and the money goes to American defense contractors. It's called money laundering, and that's how it works. Ukraine, shut the fuck up and be glad you're getting all the weapons that we're giving your asses. Holy fuck. The $130 billion sent to Ukraine so far for its war against Russia is apparently not actually going to Ukraine, but is benefiting American interests. Yeah, shocker. Yeah, defense contractors are in America. And that's even I think Mitch McConnell even slipped and said that. No shit. There's the article. It'll be in the links. There's a Montana family accusing the government of kidnapping their teen daughter after they refused to affirm her gender transition in Montana. What the effing hell? Montana couple Kristen and Todd Kolstad are embroiled in a legal battle with state authorities over the custody of their teenage daughter, Jennifer, Redux reported Monday. Jennifer's self-identification as a transgender male has ignited a firestorm of controversy and alleged overreach by Child and Family Services, according to Redux. The ordeal, which unfolded in August 2023, has seen the Kolstad family accuse CFS of effectively kidnapping Jennifer following a series of events triggered by her expression of suicidal thoughts at school. It's a sad story. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Megan Fox, PJ Media, is covering this story too. This is a story that's right up her alley. So I'm sure we'll start seeing that too. But I'll put a link to the Redux tweet on that, and they have a link to the story in the tweet right there. So if you want to read that story, the caller, Bill Maher, what the fuck are you? That's not a headline. Bill Maher is pissed at the New York Times for just stupid shit, which is good. You can watch that one on your own. And we've got a few others, but I don't have time to get to them all. So that's it for today, gang. I got to go. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I went a little over, well, a lot over, and I'm already late. So thank you for joining me today. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, or around that time. Usually, never before it, but I usually show up sometime. So as long as you're out in the morning, just watch those notifications. If you're not, click that notification button on your YouTube, and I think Rumble automatically notifies you if you let it. And sponsor the show, somebody. Please sponsor the show. Did we have one today? No, we don't have one today. That's okay. But it's not just money. Share the stream. Hit the like button. Tell people that you need to come. You need to come with us. You need to come with us to go see this guy. All right, that's it. I gotta go. Thanks for joining me. My name's P-Dog Knight. I'll put the links in the chat, and I'm out of here. Bye bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.